What's the most insane actual rich person behavior that you've experienced?
Back when I worked private jet charter, we had a Challenger 350 based at Dallas Love Airport. Very nice plane. And we got a call from somebody who wanted to do a trip with us. Fantastic. But they requested to be flown out of Dallas Fort Worth Airport. And it's only about a 20 or 25 minute drive between Dallas Love and Dallas Fort Worth. But he refused to make that drive. He wanted to be flown out of Dallas Fort Worth. And anybody who knows anything about aviation knows Dallas Fort Worth is a massive airport, very complex. And we told him, okay, we can do that, but just the reposition flight, even though it's like a 5-minute flight, if that, is going to cost like $3,000. And he said, okay, see you then. That was that. $3,000 because he didn't want to make a 20-minute drive. Unreal.
So I used to work in Lovisa, the jewelry company, and there was this one customer that I attended to that still makes me go. This girl came in with 2 of her brothers, and they all held a basket each, and she started just taking things off the shelf and putting it in her basket, like without even looking at the price tag. Now, your girl wanted to make her commission, so I went up to her and I was just like, hi, how are you doing? Can I help you out? And she was just like, yeah, I just want to know what's gonna look cute on me. Can you just show me around? And I was like, okay, sure. So I went around the store grabbing some full price and promotional items for her, and then I went back and I was like, hey, this is what I think will look really nice on you. And she went, yeah, great, just put everything in the basket without even looking at it. She spent over $3,000 in one receipt.
Buckle up, y'all!
My house is so big that I have to have 3 routers and none of them are ever working. My mom's best friend took a private plane from Los Angeles to China because they didn't want to drive the extra 30 minutes from the regular commercial airport to their city. I once took a family day trip to Mexico because my parents wanted lobster. My family is currently gentrifying a neighborhood. My parents' love language to me when I was a child was naming a factory in China after me. I was able to do an economic impact analysis of reporting my rape, and it would affect a few major industries, both in the United States and China. When my parents got divorced, it caused a few murders, an extra unrelated felony charge, downfall of a few businesses, and a Ponzi scheme. No one ever really showed me true affection, so now all I know how to do is throw money at things.
So when I was at university, I used to spend my summers working at a camp in New York. All of the kids that went to this camp came from really rich families, like super well off. Madison Beer actually went to this camp as well. There was one camper that I really got along with. We both really liked the band 5 Seconds of Summer, so we used to talk about them a lot. Then halfway through the summer, it's parents visiting day, and our dad comes over to me and he's like, if you take her to the 5 Sauce concert after camp's over, I'll pay for your ticket. So obviously I was like, yeah, I'll take her. Fast forward a couple of weeks, camp's over, I'm staying in Manhattan, she's obviously at her house. The day of the concert, so I get a train up to where they live, and a taxi from the station to their house. While I'm in the taxi, I'm driving through like the mansion. Turn up at her house and it's the biggest house I've ever seen in my entire life. Then we get a private chauffeur to the concert and back. The ticket that he bought me cost him hundreds of dollars. I got to go to sound check, got to ask them a question at sound check. The seats were incredible, and it's all because his daughter liked me. His daughter was lovely, the entire family were lovely. It was just super cool.
My house was so big, I had to tell my dad dinner was ready by using the phone intercom system. And all of those dinners were 3-course meals prepared by a private chef. We had at least like 7 employees in the house at all times, including security guards, and my mom always was terrified that there would be an inside job and I would be kidnapped. When my parents got divorced, I had to live in 4 houses at the same time, and somehow I would get in trouble because I couldn't keep track of all my underwear. One time we took a 30-minute commercial flight from Boston to Nantucket, and my dad hated the commercial flying experience so much, despite the fact that state police officers helped us through it. He had the private plane meet us in Nantucket to bring us back to Boston. I never had to go to the grocery store as a kid. There would be a pad of paper in the kitchen. If I wrote something down, it would just appear the next day. My parents' divorce made the news, calling my mom a gold digger, and the comments were full of men counting down the years until I turned 18. I wasn't allowed to put my last name on social media because people would track me down and kidnap me.
So I used to date this Formula One driver, and one weekend it was Valentine's Day. He had a race and he asked me, hey, do you mind staying at the apartment just for like a couple days and watching the dog? And I was like, of course, I love Lambo, like I will stay at the apartment. I was honestly so excited because this apartment building was so fucking nice. But one of the days that I'm there, I go to take out Lambo. And as I'm letting him just kind of walk around outside, this guy comes up to me. And he is a YouTuber. I'm not going to say who he is unless this blows up, then I'll expose him. Not gonna start drama. But anyway, he looks at me and goes, "Oh my god, is this Lambo?" And I go, "Yeah, like it's Lambo." And he goes, "Oh my gosh, you must be the Gilhart's new maid, huh?" And I'm baffled. And I just look at him dead in the eye and go, "Nah, actually, I'm Chase's girlfriend." And he goes, "Oh, okay." And fucking walks away. I have a lot more stories from that place, so let me.
I went shopping with someone that had multiple high-limit platinum credit cards, okay? We went to a Champs, it's like a shoe store, and I kid you not, it was like a movie. I will take one of those, and 2 of those. I was just tagging along. I figured it doesn't hurt to ask. Let's say I left with brand new shoes. There was like multiple racks, they were like on sale. I asked if they could buy me this shirt. Like in the middle of checking out, they turned around and they didn't even check prices, sizes, or anything. They said, "Yeah, just grab the whole rack." I was like, "What?" The whole rack. They said, "Yeah." They walked over and grabbed the whole entire rack. Multiple racks, actually. Leaving there, let's just say we had to call help because we couldn't carry all the bags. To this day, their closet still has from extra small to 4XL shirts in it. After experiencing that, I kind of want to be rich now.
Okay, let's go with actual behavior because I think we all know stories about people spending horrendous amounts of money for whatnot. But this was most shocking to me because when I was living in London, I had a friend and she was a model. So they would get invited out by CEOs of companies. You know, they want girls to be around and for them it might be an opportunity. So this night she was invited out by a CEO of a famous company and she asked me to tag along because she felt uncomfortable. So when I arrived there was 4 or 5 other models, all gorgeous women, stunning. And these men didn't ask for their name or whatnot and referred to this woman and me with this name. Knowing they can't afford to say anything because no one can afford this restaurant, that was more than my student loan, which I'm still paying off. Me underestimating the whole situation, not having a stake in it, called them out on it. They laughed and called me Germany. Everyone else remained for the rest of the night. How delightful.
One time I legitimately watched Jake Paul buy 3 Lamborghinis and hired 2 drivers for 2 of them so that he could drive in one on the road, and at any time no paparazzi or person following him would know it was him in his car because he would have 2 other identical cars with drivers around him at the same time. And back in the day, anytime I wanted to leave his house but I had to be back there later for something, he would legitimately make me leave in like an Audemars Piguet watch so that I would have a $100,000 watch on my wrist that I would have to return and come back with. I've seen him order DaBaby 1942, an IV, a massage, and Riley Reid all to the same jet. One time I wanted to start a secret company with him and I told him that I would only do it if he bought me an Escalade as the company car, and he bought an Escalade the same day. One time he was shooting a music video and only wanted a specific type of Maybach, and the only person in the world that had it was Drake, and they told him he couldn't have it, so he called Drake and Drake's team and paid to have the car the next day. Wedding ring was $300,000 and I lost it, but I guess that'd be my own insane behavior, okay?
I worked as a ranch hand in Colorado for this family out of Texas. Real nice folks, you know, real good to me. They'd fly in on their private jet, and we go pick them up and bring them to the ranch. And they bought some cutting horses from a place out of Dallas, Texas. And they already had 2 horses, 2 good horses that was there. They spent another $50,000 on 2 cutting horses. And they had us plucking rocks out of the road in the Rocky Mountains. In the Rocky Mountains, we was plucking rocks out of the road because the horse's feet did not like the rocks. Now, I'm not going to say I didn't do it. I was out there plucking away because they pay real good, son. But definitely the most rich person thing that I've ever done.
Before I became an air traffic controller, I used to work in Part 135 on-demand private jet charter. And I did a little bit of sales, charter operations, dispatch, a little bit of everything. And we had this one trip where we flew this woman from Opelika, Florida to Van Nuys, California, her and her dog. Flew them out to California, and then the woman told us that her dog was sick and needed to go back home. We were like, okay. So we flew the dog back to Florida, just the dog, not even the woman. And we called the woman, let her know that the plane had landed safely and everything, and she was very grateful. And talking to her on the phone, we learned that the dog wasn't even sick. The dog was homesick. So this woman easily spent $40,000 at least to charter a private jet to fly her homesick dog from California to Florida, and then had to fly back to California to pick her up and then back to Florida.